Here's what's ahead tonight on Eyewitness News Update. The siege at a New York junior high school is over. The man who terrorized the students is dead.
That story, plus the folks at a mobile home park in Globe, Arizona, tell the EPA they want out permanently.
Also tonight, we'll look at why Vietnam vets had such a tough time adjusting to civilian life as Diane Ryan continues her special assignment reports.
And understanding a budget override is not easy. That's next on Eyewitness News Update.
I'm here to tell you about the leading name in evaporative cooling, Arvin. What makes Arvin the leader? Well, we've been in business longer. Over 35 years building the highest quality product. We sell more evaporative coolers than anybody else. And we introduce features others still don't offer. Whoa! Like our exclusive polybond finish that doesn't chip, scratch, or rust. Oh, and one more thing about the great Arvin name, we put it on a huge variety of models. Like our new portable.
If I could only stick to a diet. The real me is waiting to come out.
Introducing AccuTrim, 16-hour appetite suppressant. The leading capsule rises to a peak, then drops sharply. The AccuTrim tablet uses the science of precision release to deliver accurately, steadily, breakfast to bedtime.
This is the person I always knew I could be.
AccuTrim, the only 16-hour appetite suppressant.
Good evening. Tonight, a bizarre hostage standoff has ended in New York. The gunman who terrorized a junior high school turned the gun on himself.
The incident began this afternoon when Robert Wickes entered the Long Island Junior High School at Brentwood, New York. He shot and seriously wounded the school's principal and a 15-year-old student. He then took 5 other students hostage, demanding the local radio station play the songs he wanted to hear. The first word that it was all over came from Wickes' lawyer.
He shot himself and he's dying. Is that enough?
As for what prompted him to do what he did today, police say it was for revenge. Just a few minutes ago, Wick died from a head wound. Wick had been fired as a teacher's aide at the school, and he blamed the students for, quote, messing up my career.
At this hour, local police are at the scene of what appears to be a homicide. The details are still sketchy, but a woman has been found murdered in her home on 3rd Street, just south of Lincoln. It appears to have been shot once in the head, and she may have been dead for several days. Her name has not been released. We are told the police are questioning a suspect.
Now, live, Eyewitness News Update with Jim Scoutten, Phil Allen, Jim Howl with weather, and Jim Jeffrey with sports.
Tonight, residents of an asbestos-contaminated trailer park in Globe got together with representatives of the Environmental Protection Agency. The topic, permanent relocation for the people living in that park. Shirley Price reports from Globe.
The potential danger of asbestos has always been a controversial subject here in Globe. That controversy was still very much alive tonight. At the meeting this evening, people from the Mountain View Trailer Park, most wanting to be relocated and anxious to get the whole asbestos problem over with. On the other side, old-time Globe residents who think asbestos is harmless. Jacqueline Querns is one of the developers of the Mountain View Trailer Park.
I've lived with frustration, and I felt like I've lived in the eye of a hurricane for over 10 years. I would never, ever put in another subdivision in this community.
You moved out of the trailer park last February. Why did you move?
Just the impact of all the asbestos, not being able to live with the thought that it might kill my kids.
The trailer park is a community of 130 residents. At one time, this was a site of an asbestos mill. The site was cleaned up once before, but the asbestos started showing up again, possibly coming through the soil or from the huge pile of exposed asbestos next door. The mill next door still operates on a part-time basis. The biggest fear of these residents, the potential danger to children playing outside. Asbestos has been shown to cause lung cancer. The EPA made the recommendation to permanently move the park because it was the cheapest and most effective way to solve the problem. The meeting tonight was more of a formality. The EPA has already made its recommendation, but will forward the public comments made tonight to the federal agency making the final decision. The public comment period ends next week. A final decision on the permanent relocation is expected the first week of June. Reporting from Globe, Shirley Price, Channel 3, Eyewitness News.
APS gas customers are in for a refund. The company says customers were billed for nearly $11 million worth of gas that was never used. So now APS and the Corporation Commission will work out a method for refunding the money. The average residential customer will get about $13 back.
The city of Phoenix is in for some major road revisions. City Council has approved a plan to build 115 miles of new streets over the next 6 years. That plan will cost just over $209 million, and top priority is to build roads that will connect major streets with Interstate 10 and the Papago Freeway. There will be several local elections tomorrow. One that's received the most attention is the override election in the Phoenix Union High School District. Now, the district says it needs about $4 million more than the current budget calls for. Opponents say the district doesn't need more money. It just needs to quit wasting the money it already has.
Phil, there's a big election in Philadelphia tomorrow. Voters will pick the Democratic candidate for mayor. In the running is former mayor Frank Rizzo. Now, he spent a busy day campaigning for some last-minute support, and it looks like he'll need it, too. His challenger is Wilson Good, and some polls show him with a 20% edge over former Mayor Rizzo. Now, if Good wins the primary and then the general election, he will be Philadelphia's first black mayor. The first black mayor of Chicago was handed a big legal setback today. A county judge sided with Harold Washington's city council opponents. The judge said that even though Washington had left the city council meeting, the action the council took in his absence is legally binding. Washington is expected to appeal that decision. Tornado warnings remain in effect tonight throughout the southern section of this country. Several tornadoes touched down earlier today. In Blakely, Georgia, a mobile home park was destroyed. As you see, 16 people were injured, 2 of them critically. Another twister roared through an airport in Tallahassee, Florida. There were no injuries reported there, but a good many planes were damaged.
A judge in California has granted a new trial to Aaron Fleming. Fleming was a companion of the late comedian Groucho Marx. And in March, a jury agreed that Fleming took advantage of Marx to milk him out of a lot of money. Fleming was ordered to pay $250,000 in punitive damages. Now, however, the judge has ruled that the punitive damages weren't justified, so the Groucho Marx case will start all over again. Another California case has been settled in the U.S. Supreme Court. The court ruled that local communities cannot interfere with bingo games held on Indian reservations. That ruling has an effect on us here in Arizona. The Yaqui Indians near Tucson have had tremendous success with their bingo operations. They offer jackpots of up to $4,000. The state had been talking about putting some sort of limit on the prize money, but it won't be able to do that now because of today's ruling.
Well, still ahead on Eyewitness News, today's strong winds whipped a number of brush fires out of control.
That story, plus Diane Ryan continues her special assignment report on the forgotten men of Vietnam.
If you'd like to find a better way to fly on business, TWA has news for you. On most airlines, you don't have the comfort of a special business section, but on every TWA wide body, you'll find TWA's Ambassador class. It's only $10 to $30 more than Coach, and it's roomy and comfortable.
Even if you're next to someone as big as I am, you are.
So much to do today, baby, but you keep you cool, baby. How do you do it?
How do active women keep cool and dry? I use Babe Antiperspirant. Its super dry formula gives you 24-hour deodorant protection. Babe Antiperspirant is powerful, yet it has a delicate Babe fragrance.
Morning, noon, and night, babe. You got what it takes, babe, to keep your cool.
Babe Antiperspirant by Fabergé. Powerful but delicate.
Powerful.
But delicate.